All right. Coming to the end of the spectator delay here.
And the heal coming out from Diana, also taking Conquer.
Very interesting. I did not
Yeah.
expect that.
Tries the attack coming out from Pantheon, that early damage with the quick trades. I think the quick trades are definitely going to go to Pantheon. Doesn't Not against that Cassiopeia where you can trade a lot of that damage back after the initial jump in from Pantheon. So and Pantheon taking the classic Baker skin. I think this is a skin diff game.
It's a good
You
one.
know,
It's a really good one.
that knife with the butter on it is just a
Butter diff.
classic butter diff. Diana going with the classic. You know, caps and worlds when no skin. The entirety of worlds.
The
Even
Faker
though
tradition.
in the LEC he always took the skin. But
I think
then
he's
G2
he's
got
carrying on
eliminated
the.
very quickly, so
That's true. That's true. He was trying to carry on the Faker legacy. Say like this guy won worlds 3 times. Maybe I can too because he didn't use skin.
I am baby Faker.
Exactly.
Minions have spawned.
And Illogical knows the Pantheon move, the dance at the beginning, and Gorf to match with his own dance. But I don't know.
Doran's ring coming up from Diana. With the Doran's ring, it's 50 gold cheaper than the Doran's blade, so the option to take another potion it might be very useful. But the lifesteal on the Doran's blade kind of evens that out. But the opportunity to have 2 potions in a 1v1 is might be unexpected from Pantheon.
And the Q did miss from the Diana there, so trade a little bit in favor of the Pantheon. Now could be in favor.
Yep.
Q did
Pantheon
hit that time, but
just kind of walking up in that Q range.
and now he has his
Using that
empowered.
Q.
Yep.
Pantheon, I think, needs to shove this in, get 2 very quickly, and just zone off the Diana with that W. And Diana, both champions hitting 2, and the jump in from the Pantheon, quick trade, ignite, maybe go for the Q. Diana jumps back in.
Oh
Does
man!
the tick? Oh, and the heal on Diana coming into use.
The heal definitely saving her, but I
Using
think jumping back in there was a little overzealous.
Yeah,
you know, he looked like he was out.
Yeah, especially with Pantheon having that Q still up. You know, jumping back in, you're walking into melee range for him. That Q does do more damage if you do not hold it. So good play from Pantheon, using both sums on the Diana. Diana need to be very careful now.
And you can see that we have a pretty, at this point in the game, pretty big CS lead coming out for the Pantheon. So Diana on that actually didn't. Yeah, she didn't actually get any items at all. Didn't even opt for a potion or anything. We'll see if he just gets a longsword or 2. I'm not sure exactly how much he's backing on. Yep, longsword coming out. So definitely a little bit of a stat advantage. He didn't choose to go for any sustain either, just saying I've been winning these trades. I think I can last without it.
The E in this matchup not going to be as useful, but still, you know, out making the opponent wait for that E to come down might be the opponent might get a little impatient and try and go in against that, you know, damage reduction. Pantheon needing to play around his abilities here and threaten with that W. I think Diana realizing like, oh, this guy does damage, I need to be careful. Might opt for a more safer strategy. Just getting a little bit of poke down, I think, is going to be crucial on both champions. That heal also makes it so that Pantheon cannot one-shot. I'm just going for a quick trade here. Good return from Diana to get a little bit of damage off, but even trade along the board. Having that empowered Q. Just gonna threaten, might go for a Q poke. Diana jumping in. Pantheon returning stun. And Diana jumping back in gets the first kill. Very well played. Kind of playing around the abilities there from the Diana. Knows that W and that E was off on cooldown, so good kind of unexpected jump in.
Yeah, so as we see here, she uses her cooldowns, but again, the sustained damage from the Diana having the Conqueror as well proc there, I think is what pretty much saved her life.
And I think Pantheon getting a little greedy there, going for the empowered Q rather than just getting the flat damage down. Might have turned the fight there.
And this is the type of thing where you have an all-in versus an all-in lane, so different dynamic with the gold lead where now you really have to be careful. Now we do still have a bit of a CS advantage, but coming in now with the alternator already, that's going to be a little bit of extra burst, having the proc and the ability power. So Pantheon only sitting on a null magic for long, so it's going to be difficult.
In here, just getting quick trades, but I think Diana is going to win the longer trades with the Conqueror buff, so might try and get some return damage. Her cooldown's a little bit shorter than Pantheon's. So as long as she plays around that, after the Pantheon jumps in with his W and Q, there's not really a whole lot of damage you can do other than auto attacks. But jumping in here with the Ignite and the auto, the W flash,
the Q?
And gets it with the Q. Very well played by Pantheon.
Yeah, great job there from
using
Pantheon recognizing it.
Flash W and Ignite there.
Combo beautifully pulled off. This man knows his way around the Pantheon. You can see instantaneously flashing in.
No hesitation. Just saying, I have
getting the extra auto, seeing the Q there, nowhere to dodge. Beautifully done.
Now pushing in, gets a plate, so that extra gold, and Diana losing a lot of those minions.
Yeah, Diana losing looks like about a wave and a half or so. So Pantheon now with a 9 CS lead, maybe only a 7 CS lead after it all evens out, but still, he's going to be now looking for that Hex Shrinker. So I think this is a very smart buy.
That's a very smart buy by Pantheon.
Yep.
You know, both champions being all in, that Diana, that all-in burst is going to be kind of mitigated by the Hex Shrinker. So I think a very smart buy and something that Diana needs to keep in mind before she goes all in, maybe trying to poke down and you know, proc that Hex Shrinker before going all in. But both champions about to hit 6 or hitting 6, so might see an advantage to Diana here, but Pantheon can, you know, sneak in and all be very unexpected.
Alright, I'm tuning in. What would you tell someone who's just tuning in right now? Who's playing and what are they playing and how's it going?
Well, the Pantheon and Diana matchup.
Okay, guys, Gore.
Both champions at 6. So Pantheon with a Hex Shrinker, Diana with the Exec Alternator. So Pantheon going for a kind of anti-burst pick with his items, making Diana not as effective. So, you know, getting the first blood on the Diana side, but slight CS advantage for Pantheon. As well as Diana having that R, I think goes to the advantage of Pantheon. Or goes to the advantage of Diana, sorry. That extra damage.
The first Diana we've seen tonight.
Yeah, it is a Gorf classic, so.
Yeah, he likes the Diana.
He does need to poke down a bit here before he goes for the all-in. It's going to be difficult in the current state, and the poke being traded back is going to make it difficult.
Pantheon looking for a W here, even though just using the W and proccing that press the attack does a lot of damage on the side of the Pantheon, and then, you know, returning with that Q might be a good short trade for Pantheon to kind of weaken down the Diana. The heal and flash back up for Diana might be very important here.
That's our first heal we've seen in the night too, isn't it?
Yep. Has the opportunity of a flash arc combo, but that Hex Shrinker makes it very hard for the Diana to pull off that burst.
Now, is that a Diana specific thing that it makes sense for her to go heal, or do you think that's something that Gorf's comfortable with being an ADC?
I think the Diana going for the kind of anti-burst on the heal has a little bit more sustain in the lane.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised seeing that as opposed to the barrier, you know, especially with the Ignite coming out. You can mitigate that heal.
does get the speed boost as well, so maybe looking to
Mm-hmm.
kind of chase
Make her a
down
little
the
more mobile.
Pantheon. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that Luxon's always put the ward down. Not, we haven't seen many players putting wards down, but he hasn't seemed to do it, so getting a little extra vision, why not? It's not like we need to sweep things or anything like that, but...
Diana's poke being a little bit more mana hungry than Pantheon's, as she's getting low on mana, might not have enough for her full combo, so logical might need to take that into consideration going for an all-in here. Also has Ignite to lessen that heal from Conquer, and as well as the Summoner.
Can see the health moving back in favor of the Diana a bit. It looks like he's just trying to spend his mana to push us in to get it back off because he has so low mana.
And you know, with the Pantheon R, he has the constant pressure of just backing, getting his items, and then using his ultimate back to lane.
We do
So
also see the pretty big CS advantage for the Pantheon in this one.
Yep.
Yep.
And he actually went for the Fairy Charm, so that is one item that they changed pretty... Oh.
Nope. Just picks up the clock. Yep.
Decided to undo it at the end there, yep.
Making us out
So
there.
Pantheon, with Diana backing, Pantheon also has the option to push in, gets a plate, and gets kind of a free back here, so... both champions backing, trying to get more items, make the burst one-shot more possible.
I would guess we'll see the Pantheon going for some lethality here, now that he has the anti-burst. Oh no, actually.
Goes for the Warhammer, that ability haste is...
He's
really
working for the full Maw, I believe.
Instead of the mythic item.
Yep. So he's just saying, I know my win condition, I'm ahead in CS, I need to not die.
Yeah, not a bad play, going for the earlier spike compared to the mythic item, giving a later spike. And the R coming up for Pantheon,
Yep, coming in.
probably not going to see anything here. And the Diana trying to return trade. But the Pantheon W, just getting a little bit of poke. Didn't have the empowered W, so not proccing that press the attack.
I wonder if we get into these second level matches, if, you know, that wanting to win via the kills kind of simmers down or dies down, haha, pun intended, and then people really just like, okay, what do I need to do to win? If it's CS, so be it. You know what I mean? It's just almost a little bit more expected.
The Pantheon actually being forced back here with how much damage he took from that trade. He's gonna lose a good bit of CS and probably going for a plate here and maybe matching the recall from the side of Gorf.
Diana is gonna get some plates. Ooh, maybe should have stayed for another plate there, but just gonna play it safe, take it back. Pantheon ult being down, so I think Pantheon has the gold to kind of afford to eat those minions. Has the 14 CS advantage, but even the first blood on Diana, just having that extra 100 gold might be important here. Picking
Looks
up
like
boots.
for tabbies.
Yep, probably gonna go for the plated steel caps. Pretty good against Pantheon, blocking those auto attacks off the W. Pantheon picking up another plate.
We have to remember how the last match ended. You know, we're seeing
That
this
was
turret.
crazy.
Yeah, we're seeing this turret
God.
being wailed on, and with the CS advantage as well, there's kind of a dual pressure advantage now for any back timing. So that might have been part of why Gorf didn't. So we maybe not. But that might have been part of why Gorf didn't stay for another plate, because he doesn't want to lose in that same way. He wants to make sure his back timings are in time.
All sums up here, so might just let it fly here with the Diana R being up as well.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Turret plating falling, making that turret win condition more plausible and feasible here for both players. Diana just kind of pushing in, making that Pantheon not be able to push under their tower. See the CS 94 on the Pantheon, about 2/3 of the way to the 150 mark. So I think the longer Diana needs to be careful of taking a bad trade and having the Pantheon just end the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think the next back for Diana is pretty much a loss if it's not while Pantheon is back. At this point, he has enough AD, he has enough damage to just take out that turret. The plating's gone.
probably about 20 to 30 seconds on the Pantheon R, so you might see him go for a back and then instantly R to lane.
A lot of poke coming down. Close.
Both champions just trying to poke each other down, but Diana having a little bit more effective poke.
And she can go for the dive here, right? It is just the next
option of the one shot, but that Hex Drinker, you know.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be caught off guard by it. But you know, when you see the health bars get this low, you can think about the fact that even if she dies in the dive after, she gets the first kill, right? So, it's a risky play, but if the CS pressure does, oh, good.
Stopping the back, very important.
Gotta be careful where your back guys.
Diana having the opportunity to push under tower here, delaying that Pantheon back a little bit longer.
But the turret is low. That's if he just stops the back again. Oh,
not having the range.
I think it's worth taking the turret out there.
Probably just gonna R here.
Yeah, he's gonna R back because otherwise I think Diana just.
Diana low on mana, needs to be careful of the Pantheon all in.
Needs to be careful of that. Also needs to be careful of her own farming.
The Maw completed for Pantheon to R in. The flash away from Diana. The W from Pantheon. Diana not having the mana, I don't think, to stay in the fight, but taking a pretty bad trade. Has to back here because of the low mana and the half health that she can't.
Yeah, that would be the turret.
Yep. The jump in from Pantheon, just trying to poke her down, make her back.
Turret shot though.
But that turret shot is very important.
Yeah, you know, him having that completed Ma now, because he has the tool of his ultimate to be able to back like that, that's actually a really, really big deal in the way this game's playing out in the kind of end game of this 1v1.
Let me look at the CS.
Ooh, oh man.
And getting really close now. Diana closing the gap a little bit, but still the advantage for Pantheon. Pantheon having the completed Ma and the completed boots. I think the
will we maybe see our first win of 150 CS?
We might, because she's pretty much trapped here. He can also just pressure her until she has to either die
we might see the flash W. We might see the flash W for Pantheon. Has the damage and the ignite. The one shot. Just trying to poke down, make sure it's completed. Has to build his passive stacks back up where it goes in.
Gorf right now probably looking for his opportunity. I think he feels the pressure. He knows he has to make something happen.
I know, I like feel it for them. You can just tell. They've played League long enough. They know when, you know, what their win condition is and what they need to do.
Ooh,
Pantheon really looking for the flash W now. Has to build the passive stacks back up, but as soon as those are back up,
you know, he's really chilling. Like, he's not under any pressure at all to make any plays, but he also has the opportunity to make them if he wants. So, hard position here for Gorf. We'll see.
Yeah. And he's so low. Oh man, it's like toying with your food. But then again, you never know when your food's in place.
Just gonna keep poking him down here with the Q. Getting really low here on Diana.
And they have not put in the change yet that allows Pantheon to not block turret shots, so he can even use his E to get some extra poke.
Missing that one. But builds passive stacks.
30 away from win condition.
Maybe just playing it cautious, like, I'm not gonna try and force anything here. Just play it safe, make you come to me, because I'm gonna end the game.
And we might even see, as the meta of this tournament develops, some people go for more TP options, right? Because we've seen the pressure of backing might
the E on the damage there, very well played by the Pantheon. And not much that Diana could do there.
That was just a game of attrition, really. You know, like he played that extremely well through the last minutes.
That Pantheon R becoming really important there with the be able to come back to lane and not take any turret damage.
Maybe the Pantheon also coming out as a priority ban for the people that can play it. Beautifully done.
And blocks the turret shot and the Diana burst, as well as got the ignite for the heal. So
472 on that Q.
All
right, and we're gonna pull in our winner here for a post-game interview.
Nice job, man.
I have a question for you, Illogical.
Yeah, what's up?
What was the main win condition for you there? Was it 2 kills? Was it 150 CS? A turret? You had all 3 at your disposal.
The 2 kills is probably the scariest one. I think there were
Yeah.
a lot of points
I think
where
I think
it was
in
on
that
like a
position,
tipping scale.
yeah, in the normal game, like you definitely would have flash W'd that. But that 150 CS and that turret, you're just like, if I just sit here, like I can play it safe.
Yeah, so it's kind of what I was thinking. I was just like, I'm winning from a lot of avenues. I can just bleed him out.
Right. If he backs, I can get the turret. So he's not able to back. He's low health, low mana, so he can't kill me. Like,
Well, he could. I think if he went all in at an earlier point, it wouldn't have been so one-sided.
yes, using his
But
poke.
like, I like forcing him to like stay in there, and like he gets like, oh, like what do I do now? Like, I have to go all in. I'm slowly losing mana. I'm slowly losing health. It's kind of just like he's backed into a corner, and I have all the cards.
And I think we did just get some intel from Twitch chat here. Gorf didn't have time to change his runes nor change his summoners after he locked in because
Right,
it's a
so-
short timer and blind pick.
He was
Yeah,
talking to me about the heal that he definitely did not want.
Yeah.
Also
Two
big deal.
different secondary runes he didn't want either.
Something to take into account for sure for the next players that are going to be up on deck to consider like having what you're going to be doing in mind as much as possible so you can use the timer before locking in to actually get that done, because I know the timer after locking in just starts once both players have done that. So good knowledge to have.
Maybe even shifting in strategy, saying I don't have to get 2 kills. There's 2 other win conditions that are very possible in the game. Seeing the turret taken down in the last match, and then in a Logical's match, the 150 CS becoming a really big factor, as well as the turret. So maybe a shift in strategy for down the road.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Very well played, Logical. And we'll see
Yeah,
you against
dude.
your match against Quebo Flu in the semifinals of the winners bracket,
I believe that is
That
what it'll
is
be. Yep.
winners bracket
or the
finals.
finals, the winners bracket finals. So the semifinals of the entire tournament. Yep.
Yep.
Again, you hanging in here. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to our players. Thank you to anyone tuning in. Huge thank you to Pocket Dust, our observer, and to his wife and daughter and Bun in the oven for letting us steal him for an entire evening. So yeah.
And we're like half done, 2/3 done, half done.
Oh no, we're like 2/3 done now.
Yeah, we just had a question from the observer about where we are in the tournament. It looks like we're on match 11 of 16 or potential 17, depending on how that 16th goes. So
we're
that's
getting
where we're
there,
at
folks.
in the timeline. It's a long and wonderful night of League of Legends gameplay on this holiday weekend. So, what are you thinking of these bans, Sander?
Well, until I could see them, I believe the Swain
There's
ban came
Gragas,
out,
I think.
the Pike ban came out. Yeah, the Gragas being taken away from Daddy Disney. Renekton Hover from an actual bird. I've seen him play it before. Kind of that 1v1 champion that does
It's
very
not
well in
a
lane.
bird. Can he even do it? It's not an actual bird.
The Yumi Hover from Daddy Disney.
I don't expect that one to be locked in, but maybe.
Don't expect that one to lock in, but we did see Ivern with Dark Harvest earlier in the tournament.
True.
What were the other bans? Well, what did an actual bird ban?
We might not have the record of it.
Oh, and also the observer Pocket Dust saying that dinosaurs may have turned into birds, so aka Renekton is pre-bird. Thank you for that.
If he's a prehistoric crocodile, then it's
which
definitely
I
possible.
think he is. Also, yeah, there's just they're really fascinating. They're really interesting stuff out there.
I believe he's also some sort of a demigod, isn't he? He's like a Shuriman demigod type of thing.
Oh, Annie!
And the Annie locked
Spicy.
in.
Okay.
Spicy. I like that actually. I really like that. I mean, when she gets her stun and then when she ults, like after post 6, I mean, she's terrifying. She's a terrifying child. Like if I had her in school, I would, have to think a lot of educational strategies on how to deal with that kid, you know.
Okay, we have the lore master of Kaboflu coming in with the save. He's an ascended god warrior of Shurima. He was driven insane after Azir died because he was locked in a tomb. So pretty intense history for the crocodile slash potentially eventually bird Renekton.
Wow.
Who's gonna win? A crocodile that is an ascended god, or a little girl with a teddy bear?
Yeah, you never know.
Very
girl.
threatening. That
She's
teddy bear.
terrifying.
Yeah, Annie's story quite tragic, to be sure.
What's her story?
I think that she saw her parents die, and
Aww.
No, she accidentally burned the house down.
Wait, really?
Yes, she accidentally burned her house down, which killed her father, and then her stepmom, treating her very badly, and then ending up killing her stepmom. Being driven to insanity by the abusive relationship.
Very dark.
Family. Very tragic.
The very dark part of
backstory.
the
I recommend
sometimes with the
yes,
lore.
I recommend watching the Annie short video.
Sad, unless it'll make me very sad. Wow.
Alright, so let's talk about the matchup here. The Annie.
Okay. Good save, man. Good save.
So the Renekton gonna try and jump in on the Annie and get that stun off, but Annie able to just kind of drop that stun and walk away is gonna make it very hard for Renekton to dive. But the ability to have multiple dashes on the Renekton, I think, is gonna be very important. So Annie might go for a more conservative playstyle, just trying to play safe. Might even CS a little bit up, and then once reaching that one item power spike of just trying to one shot the Renekton might be a play. Expecting Ignite on both sides.
Mhm.
Nothing crazy from either side, but I have not seen Daddy Disney play Annie at all.
I've seen him play it occasionally. Something that he has some experience on, but see how it plays out to be sure. And I think it is a good matchup. She also did get that extended auto range a long time ago. I think it was over a year ago at this point, but allowing her to be a little bit safer into the threat of the Renekton, especially with that stun counter. So be interesting to see.
The lane discrepancy of an actual bird being a support main versus Daddy Disney being a mid main. He might, like Sandra was saying, with CS and, kind of save up until I can one-shot him, but he also may just try to out CS him, and use that as a possible win condition as well, and have the stun and have Tivers to, not be all in and dead. And then
as well as the turret becoming a very becoming an option for Annie. Tibbers being able to tank the tower and have the extra damage on the tower, like a bad trade for Renekton may lead him to lose his tower potentially. But the fleet footwork coming out on the Annie
was selected very close to the end of the timer, so maybe another example of not being able to switch it in time. But it could also be a strategy against this matchup.
It could be just kind of hit him and then walk away.
Exactly.
Or just extra burst damage.
Because you might not be going for the all-in win condition on this. I mean, he does know also that an actual bird's a support main, so maybe being confident in his CS skills. Annie's one of the easiest champions in the game to CS on with that Q, with the execute, and getting the mana back from it. So we'll see.
The corrupting pot outside of Annie, just getting extra damage and extra sustain with the corrupting pot, as well as getting that every back, I think is really important. So
yeah, just a very efficient item for 1v1s in general. I think the corrupting pot.
Doran's shield on the side of Renekton, just saying like, you're a range champion, I'm a melee champion, I'm gonna take some bad trades, so having that extra sustain option.
Very cute Renektoy.
The Renektoy skin and the
I've heard actual birds say that it is the best the best skin in the game, Renektoy. So
it's a good one. It's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah, Annie is hiding behind the turret. Sad, not doing the dance battle mid.
Inspiration second. I wonder if Annie has taken magical footwear. Biscuits having an extra sustain, maybe even extra power spike.
Maybe time work tonic as well. Going for that corrupting start.
And time work. Yep.
Get a zoom out here. Oh, thank you, sir.
And we do have the anniversary skin for Riot's 10-year that came out.
Shout out to Riv who casted the game for us. Boom.
Maybe Daddy Disney going with an off-meta strategy, maybe going on hit Annie. I've seen it before, played it myself with the lethal tempo.
I mean, he's doing a really nice job of
just kind of
in
poking
the
it
auto
down.
attacks, poking it in while, staying in control of CS. So, I mean, very, very clean CS poke.
And again, that's that auto range we were talking about, right? Like, look how far away she is and how safe she is when she's going for that. Now, Renekton is, getting the level so he can go in for the trades, but at the beginning there, she was under so little threat.
Just having that sustain on the side of Renekton, just to dive in and heal up all that damage that Annie did. Very important, as well as Annie with the passive stacks, just like Pantheon, having that threat of that stun is important to play around from the side of Renekton. If any stun is down, that's the opportunity you can look to try and get a good trade, or maybe even an all-in. Another good trade on the side of Renekton, just trying to sustain a little bit with that lifesteal.
Yeah, Annie popping that potion, but again, having corrupting, so it ain't one and done.
Very nice job on the side of, Renekton to keep even in that CS can be difficult, into a ranged champion. Only down about 2 or 3 CS.
We do see the biscuits coming out, so lots of sustain, and maybe, partially the fleet footwork was just in response to knowing that Renekton has that healing in his kit.
Renekton having that, and Renekton, a very good trade, goes for the ignite. Not gonna have the damage to take it out, but Annie has to be careful here for that. Dive into that flash. That flash Q can do a lot of damage, especially with that full Fury stack. So
popping the potion and leveling up to get some health back. But
that corrupting and the biscuits, making it not an option for that Renekton to one-shot her.
Ignite is down now as well.
Yep.
Ooh, that's done. Flashing under turret.
Flash stun. Renekton, they trade, but the Renekton did get first blood, so 100 gold on the advantage of Renekton. But well played by the Annie. I think she's gonna die no matter what there, but trying to live as much as possible and take an extra turret shot. A little aggressive from the side of Renekton, I think. Taking that flash would have been good enough, but going in and losing his life and making it harder.
And maybe he's even saying, now it's at game point, right? Now that I know I have this pressure on the Annie, I can just go all in again.
Yep. I mean, he could even know that, I mean, right now he's doing a nice job staying relatively even in CS, but he could know that, maybe if he's not as comfortable in CSing skills, that he just make it out CS him. He's like, no, I want to push this so it's a faster paced game, and we don't even have turret or CS as an
But we do have the Seeker's Arm Guards coming out. Again, a very efficient item against these AD champions that want to all-in you, so might get harder as we go on.
We have not seen a stopwatch yet this tournament.
True.
I think it might be an item with the Seeker's Arm Guard to get that Zhonya's, even just, outlast the opponent and shut down that Renekton trade.
Yeah, especially if you could get all of the cooldowns off and then pop that and then you go in, could be a good strat.
Does Seeker's Arm Guard still build into Zhonya's Everlast?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you do lose the passive on it when you level it up to Zhonya's. I mean, Zhonya's is still a better item overall in terms of its sustain, but for the gold efficiency aspect, it is, significantly worse. You're pretty much paying for that active. But the stopwatch, like you're saying, maybe people have not been thinking about it, or maybe just like the 650 gold price tag is too hard to swallow when you're going for these little item spikes and you're trying to work towards your items. But in those outplay moments, you can imagine where a stopwatch at the right time, if you're getting dove or trying to dodge some CC or some burst, it could be very, very useful.
Both champions hitting 6, threatening that one shot on sides of both champions, getting that full fury is a very good one-to-one tool. A little bit of trade coming out, the mist.
Tibbert there.
Tibbert, but getting another stun. All coming out for Renekton. Might dive in here, then power Q.
Fighting in the minions, though, the turret shot.
Turret shot, a lot of damage. Tibbers doing a lot of damage that, you know, not expected by everybody.
Yeah, so they.
I expected Tibbers is terrifying.
They quite a while ago actually buffed the aura around Tibbers and how much damage it does, so it can be surprising how much damage Tibbers does just by literally standing in your face and being Tibbers.
Annie with that corrupting pot is able to heal up maybe a little bit more than their Nectin, especially with Biscuits as well, but just taking the back on the side of Annie, getting the Ignite down on Renekton and having your Ignite up might open the opportunity for a one-shot, but not having the Electrocute I think is really important on the side of Annie. Maybe been able to do more damage in that fight, maybe able to kill with Electrocute.
Yeah, it would have been close.
Would have been close. The Vampiric Scepter and the Double Longsword on the side of Renekton, going for that lifesteal and that extra sustain. I think that's a good pickup. Just an Amp Tome and some boots for Annie, adding that extra movement speed, so she can kind of kite around her Renekton. A little bit might be more important than going for an AP item. A little bit of poke out from Annie. Gonna return from their Renekton, but is able to kite around with the fleet footwork as well as the boots.
Yeah, the fleet and the boots and the E-shield, all those giving the movement speed and really being able to work around that range.
More poke from the side of Annie or Renekton. Need to be a little bit careful of it, but has the sustained items. Having and getting the stun. More E. What? The kite from Annie. Ignite. And Annie picking it up with the auto.
With the auto and
footwork actually busted.
Yeah, Tibbers came back up right at the end there for style. We saw the bear drop on the end, but didn't even need it. Beautifully done to get the poke down, and then Renekton thought he had the window, but Annie capitalized fantastically.
Getting that stun built back up really quickly.
Yep.
So that one-shot opportunity not taken away, but
great timing on the shield too.
Good stun.
The bear coming out, here it is. The style bear.
And just extra measure bear.
Could have just auto attack there, but you know.
No.
The style bear. Boom. Teemo Tibbers brings it out in the end.
Alright,
so
let's pull our winner in here for a little Q&A interview.
Our winner might be having some technical issues, might not have mics right now, but
I will say great job and great pick on the Annie. That's definitely a solid 1v1 pick that you sometimes forget because she's, you know, an easier champ to learn. So sometimes people associate her with like beginners, but she can be OP. So nice.
Yep, and a big thank you to an actual bird for participating. And
yeah,
I think like for anyone who is a support main out there and thinks about 1v1s, it's hard, you know. So like he did a great job and especially on a champion like Renekton that is not your typical support style at all. I think a fantastic showing there, and congratulations to Daddy Disney for a beautifully won match.
Yes, all right. Who do I net?
I believe we are moving into Dumbfish versus Korth.
Okay.
Maybe I can get an answer from Daddy Disney if the fleet footwork was on purpose.
Shavana has entered the frame.
Shavana Bot has entered the chat.
Nice. Alright, now bans will be coming out. Alawi ban makes sense. We'll Alawi it. You do not want to see a Dumbfish on Alawi. Zoe makes sense. His first, well, Ari was his first big pop off, but Zoe one of his big ones. Fiora, not a surprise. Top lane OP.
Zoe ban from Dumbfish, good to take out that, you know,
yep,
one-shot ability any champion with that kind of.
Oh, interesting. Diana ban. He doesn't want to deal with what he just saw.
Punch you out.
an Aatrox ban, I would also do an Aatrox ban. Talon. Now, Gorf was talking about Talon and trying to play Talon in this, so that is not an empty ban. He might have really done that, and Talon's very annoying. Alright, and we'll see. Heading on in, we got readies.
And give us 1 second here. If you can let them know not to start quite yet. Pocket test. We're gonna get me and Bubble Puppy in as spectator slots so we can see the numbers a little bit more clearly. And I don't know if Mrs. Sturman wants to do so as well. So if you could invite me whenever you get a chance.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. Oh, okay, Diamond has entered. Okay, alright, Ava.
Big unintentional flex.
So Talon taken away.
Unintentional flex.
Talon taken away from Dumbfish. Kind of interesting because Talon does not excel necessarily.
Oh, I thought that was for
1v1.
Gore.
It is, but you know, taking something away like the Yasuo might have been more important. So we'll see if Gorf takes that Yasuo pick. Maybe it's invited by Dumbfish. Maybe has a secret counter that we're not expecting.
Oh, did they start?
Yes.
Good.
And the Cannon Hover from Dumbfish, not surprised, has played a bit of Cannon in the past, and not that bad at 1v1s in the top lane, so might be able to make it work in the mid lane.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And the Cannon locked in on the side of Dumbfish. Gorf hovering the Vladimir might be interesting to see, especially since Vladimir's poor performance
a lot more
in
Vlad.
the new meta, but that comfort pick might be more important. Maybe just going for CS. Gorf really good at the CS on the Vladimir. Might be his win condition that he's going for.
Dumbfish had wanted to play Kennen earlier, but it was banned out. I'm excited to see a Kennen in this. I mean, I love Kennen. He's adorable, but two, I mean, his flash ult is just very rewarding, especially if you can land the stuns.
We needed more Yordle representation in the tournament.
Yes, I agree. More Yordles.
I haven't seen any this tournament, so we include
representing.
Everybody.
Yes, we do.
And the Vladimir locked in by Gorf.
Maybe Yordles just trying to and vampires.
This is a matchup that I think if Kennen plays well, he can win, but the other way around is for Vladimir as well. Using that pool to kind of stop the Kennen R or the Kennen E for the stun.
It feels really bad when you're on Kennen and then Vladimir just like completely gets out of all of your stuff. Yep,
presses one button and walks away.
And you don't want it to get too late in the game because then Vlad is just unkillable, and especially if he can dance out of any of the damage you can do, it will not be good. So I think it would behoove Kennen to get a quick push, try to end this quickly. Meanwhile, Gorf has a little bit more flexibility and timing.
We might see the option of a TP or maybe a healer barrier on either champion, as well as maybe a stopwatch picked up by Vlad or the Kennen. Having that stopwatch in the Kennen ult might be more important to save that pool to do some extra damage, or having that stopwatch to stop something like the Vladimir R, the Vladimir Q, or something. Gonna be an interesting one.
Yep. All right, here we go. Loading in. Time to see the synergy. Kennen's adorable. I mean, he's gonna win the cuteness battle. Like he's just absolutely adorable. Gnar is also super cute. No, expected delay. Just kidding. We're just going to a different screen.
Be interesting. The skins picked up by either player.
And again, thank you to all of our viewers out there. I know kind of. Oh, it's 11:11. Make a wish. I know, kind of going late into the night, so if you need to sleep, you can always go to sleep, and we will put this up on our YouTube channel, on the Hilliard Esports one, so you can always check that out. But if you are hanging in with us, We got a couple more matches. We have this one, and then I think we head back in, and we're getting down to it, right? Is this the last one of the redemption battle before we go into the
So this is
semis,
going
or?
to be you would call it like the semifinals of the redemption bracket. And then we're going to the finals of the winners bracket to determine who faces off in the finals of the redemption bracket to see who faces off in the finals. That's what's left. Yep.
Wow. It's intense. But I like it. Next time, I'm making popcorn. I told you all to make popcorn. I shoved them.
And then, like we had briefly discussed before, at the end, if the person from the winners bracket in that kind of finals between the two brackets loses the last match, then there's going to be a rematch to determine who wins it all.
I see.
Yep.
And then they have to beat Peter. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
No.
Okay, so looks like we have the Phase Rush coming out from the Vladimir and the Airy coming up. I know that is Gorf's favorite Vladimir skin, definitely a nice one.
It is
My favorite as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Kennen's adorable as is, so he's
exactly
in his, Kennen-ness, and he's look at him run, guys! Look at him run! He's ninja running like Naruto, and his arms, and he's just so cute. He's so cute.
And we do see the TP coming out from the Vladimir, so
going for that. I think he's going for the CS or maybe the turret pressure.
Exactly.
Maybe not going for the 2 kills.
Because he does have excellent sustain even earlier in the game, right? Being able to Q the minions or empowered Q to get good trades off or get sustain in. So maybe just saying.
Either.
He also has the W counter on the ultimate for any all-in pressure, so it might be one of those CS types of games. We'll see.
Well, and going for a Doran's blade, or Doran's shield, going for that full sustain.
Guys, talk about what matters. They match and there's a dance battle going on. Come on.
This is true. This is true.
Come on, look again.
Look at him wriggling around on the
ground.
ground.
He's so cute. I think Pocket does. Oh, he's so cute. Meanwhile, Vlad's just... Oh, he got the moves!
That was pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah! Got the moves, like, okay, time to CS now, boys.
A little bit of nice poke out. But again, Vladimir with plenty of sustain. Little poke like that is not going to be a big deal to him.
So Kennen playing around the Vladimir Q, very important. Whenever Vladimir has that red bar, that's probably the where he's gonna go for that trade. Gets a little bit extra damage, a little bit extra health.
Yep, and you could see Dumbfish backing away as soon as that bar filled up because it is on that timer, so good job there. But again, I think right now, Vlad's just happy to CS it out.
Yep. Yeah.
A little bit of poke coming up from Kennen.
Yep. And level 6 is really where the big threat from Kennen does come in. You know, he can get some all-ins before that, just mainly poke though, otherwise. But if you're getting that much poke
like
down,
that,
then
but...
yeah.
Decent chunk, yeah.
If he could stun him under turret, if Vlad went too aggressive, that would be pretty nice. But, you know, I don't think that Gorf is going to overstep that. I think he knows that if he waits it out, he's in a better position.
Yeah, I think Gorf jokes about Vladimir basically being a minion early on in the game, so he knows that it's not his strong point. He knows how to play around it. This is the champion that he played very well on to get himself to gold this season, so big congrats there as well to Gorf.
Absolutely, proud of him for that.
I know he worked hard on that. So
yeah, it's cool. He's thinking about how he was basically he had to level up to play level 30 to play for our school last year, and then this year he was able to make it to gold. It's very exciting.
Yep, and another good stun coming out.
Yeah, I mean, Dumpster is just doing a great job of playing
Keeping
this
that play,
keeping the pressure.
Keeping that Vlad at low health, just so that making it not able to sustain up to full health, and so that whenever he sustains, he's back at their low health. Just so he takes the kill pressure away from Vlad, even though we're probably not going to see him try it. But
if I ever want to go back to doing a top lane, Kennen, you know, Johns, I should have Fish give me a tutorial, because this is clean laning phase of, you know, just CS poke, CS poke.
Good dodge on there from the Vladimir with a Q coming out, and we do actually see a pretty nice CS lead opening up for the Vladimir. So even though he's been getting pressured, he has been keeping the farm up. So maybe just really playing to that win condition he had in mind, but maybe a kill?
Oh! Okay, super close.
He does have TP, he can use that.
Yep.
So this is the advantage of going for the teleport when you're going potentially for this win condition. Yes, he was kind of knocked down there and knocked out of lane, but he did not go down, and now he can just get back and not miss too much, really. Yep, right as the wave crashes. There it comes.
Yep.
Picking up a decent amount of that farm there.
Yeah,
and now
having that extra back.
Oh wow!
That codex,
Brutal.
a lot of extra ability haste and ability power. So
exactly. So we see the matchup maybe even turn a little bit.
Yep.
Even though Gorf taking bad trades, he's able to chunk out the cannon from lane. Doesn't have that TP to get back to lane.
He does his E, which can make him go back faster. But not.
But you know, by then Vlad can push in the turret, maybe even get a plate or threaten the end.
He's also not significantly ahead in CS. He's 15 CS lead.
Yes, but 15 at this early, you know.
Hey, I take it. I take it. Of course, I take any CS. I'm a support main. You know, it's all good.
And one of the things we want to watch for with the Kennen's all-in potential is when the pool's down, right? It is a long cooldown.
Misses the cannon ult. So.
Both ults actually
Vlad
coming
also
down there.
using, yes, Vlad also using the ult. Exhaust still on the side of Kennen is up. So Vlad needs to be careful about going for all-in, being caught by that, but does have the pool to just kind of walk away and keep his life up. Good stun. Oh, almost blocked that entire Q, but still a 15 CS advantage for the Vladimir. Kennen, I think needs to try and push this wave in and look for the opportunity for a back here, sitting on a decent chunk of change. Getting those items to make the Vladimir not hurt so much, or maybe do a little bit more damage, so it'll be very important. Because the Vlad will just sit here and just sustain with his healing.
Yeah, you're really getting to the point where you need to decide what you're trying to do as the Kennen, right? Because you're seeing the CS pressure start to build up, you're seeing that you've already used your ultimate and it didn't work out, and man, look at that coming down with the empowered Q.
A lot of damage. Vlad might have the opportunity to go for a one-shot. His ult not being up, but still does a decent damage with his E-Q combo.
So if you're going for that more defensive option as the Kennen, you are taking away maybe one of those win conditions when he could just wait you out. But what are you thinking here? Is it turret? Is it kill? Is it CS? What's the Kennen's option? You know, it seems like the options are slimming.
For Kennen, you just have to make the Vladimir overextend, I think. You know, try and get a quick stun off and get some decent damage to poke down and then try and go for a one-shot, but it's gonna be very hard. Maybe try and bait out the pool a little bit. See, picking up the Picking up the Oblivion Orb, good to pick up some Grievous Wounds against Vladimir, but Vlad also picking up the Hextech Alternator.
No, actually, a big deal from the Vladimir here not pushing in that wave when the cannon backed. He's going to lose a full wave of his health and not deny any minions. So that's actually going to be probably about a 10-ish CS differential that he didn't capitalize on. So if he is going for that win condition, the wave state when you're backing very important.
And then still has to kind of sit under the Kennen's turret here with the wave pushing, and so not gonna be able to do anything. And Kennen might have the opportunity to look for a decent damage. Picking up that Grievous Wounds as well. Trying to apply that whenever Vladimir goes for a little bit of sustain, just so that he doesn't sustain as quickly. Also getting a blast on, so some decent AP coming up from Kennen. Going for the ult, the flash in, the exhaust coming out as well, but not enough damage just to dish out, and a lot of big cooldowns down on the side of Kennen. Also, Vladimir has Hex Flash.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well. Very interesting. I wonder if he's going for some cheeky over the river wall plays, because that's the only one where you could really use it, right?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does with this, but has a 17 CS lead now. Getting about halfway to that 150 mark. So the Kennen, I believe, needs to try and force a fight against Vladimir. With that Grievous Wounds, it's a big counter to Vladimir, so I think he will win the straight up 1v1 if Vladimir gets caught out. And I believe the longer the game goes, the more in favor it is for Vlad. Chunked out here. TP just coming online for the Vladimir, so has the opportunity to back here, but
Vlad actually did just use his ultimate for the sustain, I think. Feeling the pressure, saying I need a little bit of a heal, more than my Q can provide. Not wanting to give it that first blood, he recognizes he has another win condition here.
Staying in lane longer and getting more CS, still has the health advantage over the Kennen.
Can we get the CS numbers again, please, possibly? Thank you. Wow, yeah.
17 for Vlad. Kennen's ult online in about 10 seconds here, so maybe try and go for an opportunity, but the sustain on Vladimir back at full health. Almost full health. Ooh, very good on the Vladimir to wait out the Grievous Wounds using that Q to get the full healing off. Just the little things to keep your health up and out straight. Gets the empowered Q off on the Kennen, that's a big damage on side of Vladimir.
Oh, maybe it's all in.
Kennen going in with the ult, but the pool, and he just walks away, and there's not a lot the Kennen can do there. TP up for Vlad, so 60 CS left to go on that 150 CS mark for Vladimir. And his game plan going to plan. Vladimir again, not pushing in this wave. It will eventually slow push towards the Kennen, so losing out on a bunch of minions there.
Yeah, especially with the Kennen backing there, totally safe to push that in. So he is still on track for this win condition. It's something that he can still work with no matter what.
1 ECS difference now.
Yep.
But has the opportunity to be a lot higher if he pushed that wave in, so Kennen
I
has the
feel like
opportunity to close the gap a little bit, but
I feel like the CS win condition just kind of helps to make sure that people don't play too passively the whole time, because then it just comes down to, whoa!
Vlad
Nice,
going for a nice combo there, getting a bunch of damage down. Has
the Hextech Alternator really proccing a lot of that damage too.
The ult online for Vladimir. Could see a one-shot opportunity. Maybe next empowered Q.
You want to be careful against that exhaust, yeah.
Kennen ultimate 10 seconds away on cooldown, so might be a defensive ult usage. $50 CS left now for the Vladimir, has 100. So the game is on a timer, but the turn play is going, so an engage from Kennen, the R, but the cool away.
Yeah, it's just, it feels so bad. You want to try to land
good
that
trade at the end of that fight. Vlad was not able to get the empowered Q off.
I mean, if Kennen could get the stun right in with the ult and then, you know, throw an exhaust, like, maybe then he would be able to do enough, but with the pool, I mean, he can just get out of that ult. It feels bad. Yeah.
I still don't think Kennen's completely out of this fight. The CS gap closing just a little bit. Vlad going in for a one-shot. Yep.
Goodness.
Very well played with the flash EQ. Seen that a lot on the side of Gore. Very well played.
Yep, and really knowing his limits on the champion, you know, knowing that he had that combo, knowing that he had the damage. Beautifully done.
Oh, but his back gets stopped, but that's actually beneficial for him. He has the opportunity to push this wave and get some more damage on the turret to threaten that other win condition.
Yep, we have the replay coming out here, I believe. And he just pops him.
Yeah, I mean, Flash is gone.
Just knowing his damage more than the Kennen is really impactful there.
So evening out to a 22 CS lead, it looks like. Pretty significant here as we're approaching that timer.
Kennen didn't even have the opportunity to exhaust her. That's how quick that was. Has Flash, has exhaust, has his ultimate, but the TP coming up from Vlad. 34 CS left for that win condition.
Big chunk though, right after he gets back to lane. Plenty of sustain, but still.
He is on point with those stuns. Gotta
just applying that Grievous wounds to, you know, delay the sustain. So okay. Good chunk there. Has the ult. Good flash ult here. Doesn't have pool.
Yeah,
the
that's
ult
what he needed to do.
Gets the kill. Very well done by the Kennen. Needs to push this wave in. Could get the turret here.
That's exactly what I said. He
flashes into the
turret.
Okay,
I think that's a little fight flash. So he did exactly what he needed to do.
No TP though.
20 seconds on the death timer for Vladimir.
He might have it.
Kennen might have the game.
Oh my actual goodness. Oh my actual goodness.
13 seconds on Vlad. Oh, we've never seen auto-attacking more intense than this.
Right?
Doesn't have the wave, not gonna be able to get it.
Close. I don't think he gets it.
There's always another wave.
Look at the CS now.
Did the CS only 9 down on the side of Kennen, so a really good kill from him to, you know, even out the score a little bit. Only, you know, ties the score 1-1, so has the opportunity of killing to win the game, picking up the
he has his rocket
belt. Yep.
So this
and
might be.
Orb, so.
Yep. This might be a big turnaround.
An advantage for Kennen, but Vlad still only 30 CS away from winning, but might see the Bush play with the Hex Flash.
And he didn't get that rocket belt or his own mythic item. I don't know if he's going for the rocket belt as well, but he didn't get his own, so it's I think he was really close too, but now he can't back. Oh yeah. And even the CS advantage now is getting a little bit tense. You know, he is still ahead, but he's only ahead 10.
And, you know, that comes down to the difference of, you know, Kennen just CSing a little bit better. But the Hex Flash.
Hex Flash.
Going again. Does not pull it. Has the damage. Now the pool coming out from Vlad. Ulting will do a little bit more damage to Kennen, but not a whole lot. Has the opportunity in there. Vlad needs to be careful. Clear the wave as fast as possible.
Kennen needs to be careful.
Kennen
Don't overdo it. Don't get too hungry. Careful,
not getting aggressive. Very well played by the Kennen. That rocket belt still on cooldown for about 15 seconds.
Oh my gosh, guys, 20 CS until CS
getting tense. It's getting really tense. The sustain comes out.
He wants it too.
The sustain
Careful. You don't want that, Kennen. Not yet. You don't want it. You gotta be careful.
Careful. 16 CS left for Vladimir.
Yeah, I mean, that's
only 26, so still a 10 CS difference.
And he is back in here.
Has to back.
Oh,
Speaking.
Man, this is so risky.
Vlad has that one shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vlad, can
with the flash as well, so Kennen needs to be really careful here.
Yep.
He's looking
Down
for
power
it.
Q
You can
right
feel it.
here.
Yeah,
right
he
here.
is. He is. He
The
is.
flash,
Yep,
yep,
oh,
there
there
it
it goes.
is.
Fine.
There
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
Beautifully played by Vladimir.
Wow.
Kennen hanging in there, but really close.
Man, what a
That
match.
was intense.
From
That was awesome.
Kennen being as far down as he was, getting that kill was huge, just keeping the game, but, you know, that sustain was just crucial in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like, Kennen realizing he switched it to where he did stun him before the ult. And I mean, that was just huge. He was able to get some huge stuns off, almost got that turret. But then, yeah, in that game of inches, Vlad's able to heal up, and, you know, there's just nothing he can do. That was awesome.
All right, and we're going to pull in the winner here for the interview.
Well done, sir.
That was fun.
That was
That
good.
That was an intense match.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
So
what was going through your mind at like the various stages?
When?
Like, so, I mean, in the beginning, it seemed so one-sided to you in a way, but then Kennen, you know, getting that kill and like stunning you with the ult, exhaust, and then being able to rinse and repeat at least with stunning and ult, that's terrifying. He almost got the turret, but then boom at the end, like I think you knew you had him. Thoughts?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but I ended up fiddling with Hex Flash because I don't know how that works with Vlad's kit. So I figured out that you can't charge his E while you're charging your Hex Flash, which kind of
I thought that was
destroys.
interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out because I figured if I can just Hex Flash E, that's so much more damage that I can do instead of just having to wait 6 minutes for my flash. That was I'm shaking right now.
Very intense.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
The cheap Grievous Wounds was
Yeah,
not
that was
fun.
brutal.
That
picking
was
up that Grievous Wounds really early and then getting the
yeah.
rocket.
I knew he was
before
gonna do
you're
it.
able
It was
to-
just however long till he backed.
But GG's, your next game against Daddy Disney, but I believe we're going into Kebaflu and Illogical to give you a little bit of a break, so we'll see you back
Okay,
in
good.
2 games.
Peace.
Yeah, that break for the players would be really nice because you do get really hyped. And then you need to like
Get the blood
reset
pumping.
that, and
the
it's like, oh,
adrenaline's flowing, your hands are shaking, and your palms are sweating.
I remember my first ranked game. I was actually like sick to my stomach. I was so nervous. Okay, no one else, just me. Never mind then. All right.
No, yeah, I think
I didn't know that
there,
was
guys.
okay, yeah. So,
I think ranked anxiety is definitely a thing in general.
So a thing.
Alrighty, so Kebaflu picking the Darius the first game. Not really a pick that we expect to see farther in the tournament. But the lot basically has to take the Darius away from Illogical. That's such a big like 1v1 champ that he's comfortable on that I think you have to take away. Also playing Pantheon aside of both players, so maybe one of them will ban the other out on that Pantheon, but
See, let's go. It's because it's Flex. It's fine. Flex. Okay, continue.
so you head into ban here, taking the Panth straight away, saying I respect your Pantheon. I think it's better than mine. I'm just gonna take it away. Or, you know, could have had the possibility of a mirror matchup even with the Darius. Might be exciting, but
I'd love to see a mirror matchup. We haven't yet. That would be really fun. I wish I could just like go in and say mirror match, but no.
There is second
There
one.
it is. Yep.
Probably the Xerath taken away, also third ban. Maybe even the Nico taken away. Actually,
yeah,
was very effective in his second match.
If he bans away the Nico, I wonder if we'll see the Xerath, and vice versa. If he bans the Xerath, if we see the Nico. Cho'Gath.
Illogical taking the Cho'Gath away. Okay, very strong pick in the in Season 11 with those tank items, even with the kind of sustain that Cho'Gath has, can make it a very hard 1v1, and the Xerath taken away from Kobafu. So might even see a Nico pick from a logical, maybe, Kobafu thinking of countering the Nico with a pick of his own, but Ezreal taken away, that kind of CSing poke champion, very effective in a 1v1.
Here we go.
And I'm going to pick the Nico hover. Might see that locked in. A very strong pick right now with that kind of poke that Nico provides. You get rooted and then queued and you're chunked for half your health. So it'll be interesting to see what the response maybe he has in mind.
Yeah, maybe he, thinking about that before. That's why he banned out Xerath, because he wanted to do something in his
set. The set was not taken away biological, so maybe inviting that pick.
Ooh, maybe Jax. That's another one that
Yep,
logical.
and Kobafu locking in the set. Jax and Nico both are really strong counters to set, so maybe even the Teemo pick biological, that'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
But Nico locked in. Yeah. Such a strong pick, and set relies on walking up to you and pulling you in and then hitting you in the face, but if Nico's able to just stop you in your tracks before you can even get started, what is there to do? Maybe going for the cleanse on set or TP, as we saw in that last match, that CS becoming a really important part for both players. Maybe become more of a win condition than at the start.
Yeah, I definitely do think that there's just a change in mental. At the beginning, you really want to get the 2 kills, but then now that we're, all of the players have played a couple games, you really just want to do whatever you can to win, and you really, especially depending upon what the matchup is and who you're playing. So, we can see. That turret one was great. I'd love to see a 150 CS. That would be just a fun thing.
I think
but
this is gonna be really hard for set to win this one, just because of that poke potential from Nico, and even if set walks up and all in's able to just go invulnerable with the Nico R and stop set from R'ing Nico.
Yeah, if she can outlast that, then she can poke out the damage. But yeah, well, we'll see. The thing is here too, like I said earlier in the tournament, like it's not just about playing everything perfectly. It's also about capitalizing on mistakes. So if someone makes a mistake, that can be your window.
I think if Nico just takes control of the wave, right at the start, I think it'll be really hard for set to kind of walk up and capitalize on that. Yeah. So final 4
and
logical.
We got told, that we're down our final 4. Hype.
And that is Neo.
Nice. Congrats to our final 4, our finalists. So yeah, who do we have again? We have Kobafu, Logical, Daddy
Gorf
Disney,
and Daddy Disney.
And Gorf.
So the winner of this match will be going into the grand finals, and the loser heading into the redemption bracket finals. Still staying in, having the opportunity to win the tournament. So no elimination here for either player, but
a bye into the grand finals.
Yes, getting that grand final and having that extra loss at the end is really important. So even if they lose,
they have an extra life. Yep, exactly.
That's so exciting, though. Let's put a little hype in the chat. Here, where's that chat? No, it's hype. Here we go. Hype.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I think the set here is really going to have to big brain a win condition out of it. It's going to be very difficult.
Well, I'll do it later. Sorry, my thing disappeared because leak's starting, so I will hype in the chat later. But yeah, absolutely exciting. And thank you to Peter Aryadeva for like setting up the bracket and helping figure out who was where. Very appreciated. Oh, and look at fun coming out from both players. Does my heart good.
And definitely going for the all-in here with the Hail of Blades Ignite on the set.
Yeah, going for that quick trade, just getting those three or four auto attacks with the Q is just a bunch of damage, and then having that W to kind of stop any damage from coming in. So very aggressive by set. Nico just going with Electrocute, very strong, especially in the poke matchups. But
as we can see, Set's dance is in fact just doing sit-ups.
Yep, preparing.
Training hard.
Yeah, preparing. The chat, classic. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. Just kidding. Classic.
He said he'd. It's all in good fun. We're teammates first.
Set does have the advantage level 1, so has to try and force a fight early, I think, is probably the only win condition for him. Unless, you know, making Nico overstep isn't a possibility, but... See, just Doran's Blade picked up by Set. Pretty aggressive, you know, not going with the Doran Shield. Going with the Doran's Blade, just trying to maybe lifesteal in the close 1v1 if he can close the gap.
I watch people just lane against each other more. It's really fascinating to see them when they poke, when they don't. They should go for poke.
A lot of dynamics going on at the same time.
Yeah, fascinating.
Good early pressure by Nico, just kind of taking control of the wave. Not pushing in immediately, letting it slow push just a little bit. Might have the opportunity to get a couple auto attacks on towers, but that root and Q, and that's, you know, half the health away for the set.
And he actually doesn't have his W yet, you can see by the grit not building up, so something he can mitigate a little bit easier later on, but for now, yeah, big trade.
That's big wave too now coming in.
Logical doing a good job, not walking up too far to get in that ear in, but the flash E and the clone from Nico confusing the set a little bit. Very well played by the Nico, and the root coming out, the ignite. He's gonna poke him down with the auto something like that. Oh, the flash Q.
Oh, so close.
The potion by set keeps him alive for just a little bit longer. 19 HP on the set. Very close. Both champions using flash. Set still having a ignite, so not as close, or not as, you know, bad as we thought the set would do, but still living. Picks up some boots, maybe to get some extra gap closer. Probably.
You do crunches when you're in boots.
Maybe looking for merc treads early to kind of stop that root early, but 12 CS difference for the Nico for 10. So being a possible win condition for the Nico. Nico also picking up some boots, but
my guess would be with how the set is setting up his character, no pun intended, that we are not going to be seeing a CS win condition this time. He's looking to punch that guy in the face.
Yep, with the Hail Blades Ignite. That flash, very aggressive, but good on the Nico to just kind of clone and walk away. Who are you going to hit when there's two of them?
Exactly. Zoning off the cannon there too.
Yep. Just the little things to kind of close the gap.
Yeah.
Walking up, going for an E, getting punished a little bit, proccing electrocute. Outside of Nico, but still a CS advantage for the Nico if she can pick up all these minions here. No, even in the 1v1, just like pushing the minions into their tower, it's a little bit harder to CS center tower as one of these, as Nico, the kind of mage. Doesn't do a lot of damage with the auto attacks, so a little bit harder to pick up like the ranged minions. And closing the CS gap, not by like pushing her out of wave, just by pushing it on a tower, making it harder to CS. But more punish from the Nico as Set misses the E.
Yeah, and choosing not to use the W there on the burst. He did take a good chunk. He does have a lot of sustain just as Set. Set has inbuilt sustain in his kit, so see him probably just wait for this wave to be pushed into him.
Probably gonna wait for Flash and R. But taking a lot of damage, still not.
Wow.
Use the W. For Set, really trying to use the W as damage instead of a defense. Nico picking 6 before Set. About a couple minions away from 6. Yeah, he's just gonna stay. That's a big wave for Nico, so
really dangerous here for the Set.
Yep. That E and Q will kill, especially with that grit not built up. That shield's not gonna be very big. The Q and the W blocked, nice, but the Ignite on the side of Nico. A Q Ignite will kill. Doesn't have the W. Still need to be careful, but 2 plates for Nico.
2 plates for Nico and so many minions zoned from Set too.
15 CS advantage. The W and the Q. Yep.
He's gonna have to back here.
Still losing minions and more turret damage on the side of Nico.
And Logical really might try to make CS the win condition.
Good back on the side of Set. You know, noticing that the minion wave still has a little bit to get to the lane, so even though he has to take the worst back, picking up a little bit where he can. So the wave gonna stay neutral here.
And the Sheen coming out, definitely still going for the all-in potential.
Still going for the I'm gonna hit you in the face.
And even if the Nico, even if the Nico doesn't go specifically for the CS victory, having the extra damage on your abilities can help you just push into turret even easier, continue the pressure under turret, because you can see how hard it is. Once the Set gets shoved under and he has to focus on CS, it's so easy for her to line everything up.
Flash for Set on 20 seconds, and Nico at 30 seconds, so slight advantage for Set there. Gotta have the opportunity to jump in, but big poke by Nico. And Set not having the ability to hit the turret is kind of difficult in that range to melee matchup. Once you push the minions under, you can't really do anything from it, so just gonna stay away from the minions, let Nico push in and try and farm under turret. The R for Set might be an opportunity if you can flash and R Nico back into turret. There's not really a whole lot of escape that she can do. So she does have to be careful about that, but...
Yeah, it all depends on how far she pushes up.
Yep. That flash is up for Set. And Ignite. That poke adding up as Set is not, but a third of his health is going to heal a little bit back, but if Nico just keeps poking, that Set is not going to heal as much.
And just keeping and applying that pressure allows her to be 20 CS up right now. Ooh!
Oh, very close. Waited till the last second to use the W to block the third Q. Nico's Q does do more damage more times than hits, so. But gonna lose a big wave and maybe another plate.
Yeah, definitely another plate if he wants it, and you know, we have to be thinking, what is the Set's win condition here? I think, like you said, he has to
flash R and try and...
Yeah, he has to go for something drastic. He can't just let himself be poked down. He can't just kind of keep going with the same pattern that has been happening, because he is taking damage at a rate that he can't sustain over and over and over and over again.
Only 2 plates left for Nico, but the armor grows on the turret, the less plates there are, so gonna be doing less damage to the turret. Might have to wait for the plates to fall before Nico can take out that turret, but kind of a game of attrition here for the Nico. And
Nico actually staying here.
Nico doing a very nice job playing around the Set's abilities. Notice that the E is down and the Q is down, so Set's not really having the opportunity to trade a lot back, but Nico's mana is low and gonna lose a lot by backing here, so let's see if Set can capitalize. Again, missing the E. A little bit of auto trade from the Nico. Smart not using her abilities and using that mana. Just auto attacking when possible. Maybe waiting for an all-in to use that mana.
And Set really not able to do much by pushing her into turret. You know, he can look for
Yes, the E, but the clone.
And
he can look for the CS
doing
advantage.
such a great job dodging out of that W, like just very nicely walking to the end of the 10 can.
And he did only get the pull, not the stun on the E, so it was easier for Illogical to dodge it out.
It was E here. Oh, nice.
Good damage here. More poke coming out as no abilities are from the Set. And a back coming for Nico. I got a bunch of gold. Might choose to get another blasting wand or maybe some more AP. Yep, I can have a blasting wand there. Set having the opportunity to kind of get a free back there. But opting to stay, maybe get a plate.
And he has got some.
Has the demolish, maybe even get 2 plates here. So, yep, gets 2 plates. Well played by Set. Just having that demolish and being able to chunk the turret like that.
And you can see the gold differential is actually only, you know, 250-ish, so not too much of a difference there. And the CS gap will again grow as we push this in. And
Arc Treads picked up by the Set. Very smart buy. That root does do a lot, and you know, the less you're stunned, the more you can run up and E. But
it's gonna be too much armor to. Yep, too much armor here to actually take the turret. But once we hit,
that is some huge pressure.
Yeah, once we hit 14 minutes, it's insanely large pressure on the Set to be able to guard this turret.
But the demolish on Set, even if he kills Nico, you know, that turret can fall at 14 minutes as well.
That's true. Set is pretty quick at taking them. He does that machine as well.
But get
and
that
this is the longest we've gone in a game without first blood.
That root lasting a lot less with that Merc Tread pickup, so Set having a little bit of opportunity to do something here. Has the R, has Ignite, and Flash. So might try
I think he's looking for it.
He is, but still getting chunked out.
And you can see, even though the root lasts less time, he still is getting hit by all parts of the queue, so pretty hard to be able to dodge out of that, even with the tenacity.
You know, maybe even Set's thinking like, okay, if I can get Nico's mana low, I can make her back, force her to back, or I can try and all-in her without the opportunity to trade. So maybe just kind of eating those abilities to force more mana out with the sustain that Set has.
But now he really can't back. The plating's falling. The last plate is all that stands in between that turret. So maybe going for it here.
There. The clone coming through. Hitting the right one. Oh, going for it. The R coming out. The flash, ignite.
But if he doesn't get it, oh, he got it.
And a very good trade coming through. Ignite and minion damage did a lot there, but so good trade, but by both players. Set getting that first blood, just closing the gold gap a little bit.
Oh,
well played,
coming out.
Good sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship.
Love it,
see the replay here. Definitely that flash being the big playmaker. An instant flashback from Logical, but just the W doing so much damage with it, so charged up, and barely the ignite helping tick down with the assistance of the minions. And we do see the wave pushing towards the Set, so he's not going to miss out on much here. But these are going to be the final backs. We're not going to see anything else come out from these players with how low the turrets are at this point in the game. So Night Harvester is out. Definitely a very, very powerful item. And it's going to be a difficult all-in to pull off again, I think, without that flash, right?
Yeah, you know, I think that was actually and benefit for the Nico, because
Yep.
Nico could just shove this turret, or this wave under the turret, and just poke the turret, and Set doesn't really have anything to kind of fight back with without that flash.
Oh,
Good stun coming in through here, but thought it was the clone. And that clone being really effective
I
against
think
this
an
Set
auto on the
matchup.
minion as well. And we also sometimes do see the sets take Hex Flash, but with the way this lane is built, not something you can utilize too well. Top lane and bottom lane more built to utilize that with the way the brushes are set up.
Yeah, Set opting to go for Demolisher, I think, is a better play.
Absolutely.
Kind of give yourself a win condition when it's gonna be really hard to find one. It's good. Getting a free E there and the stun.
Oh, here's all
There
Nico.
Oh, the cancel by Set! Amazing! Gets rooted. Hit by the
my
Q,
goodness.
but even though it was
my
really
goodness.
well played by Set,
can't
takes
back here.
all three
Yep.
Qs. Can't back
Yeah,
here.
if he
shoved under
backs, the
turret.
turret's gone.
Yeah, Nico taking no time to shove this wave in, saying, I'm gonna force you to fight me. With full health.
Or give me your turret.
No R by Set. And
Ooh.
Mike gets it.
man.
Ooh,
Short shot,
close.
short shot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Looking really hard for Set with that bad trade. Can't back or the game is over, so.
Yeah, you
Kinda
can see
push
him,
up
all
against
he
the
can
wall.
do is wait, but no mana on the Nico, actually.
No mana on the Nico, so maybe he can find something here. Has Ignite in about 10 seconds, so.
Kind of a sustained game of mana versus health, actually, rather than health versus health.
Yeah.
Has to be careful.
The
of
minion's doing work.
Combo, but that
Ignite
goes on
coming up on the Nico
yeah.
too.
And Set, yeah.
Ooh, big electric cube.
Now one Q away from
But
death without a W.
Yeah, if he hits, then I think Nico wins.
look at that turret too. I mean, we're
Yeah, even just the minions.
Oh,
Oh, there
gets
it is.
rooted. Oh, the Ignite coming out.
Ignite.
Oh, didn't get a
Oh
Q
my
down by
gosh.
Nico. Might be out of mana.
oh my gosh, if there was a wave right now, there's always another wave. This wave is just far away. And then they
Nico,
place down their wards. Gotta love it.
Nico only
Also,
has
the cool
mana for
riot
an
this
E.
month reward. Good stuff. Shout out to Becky and Vince.
Nico only has mana for an E or a Q. Now has her EQ combo, but that is it. Does not have anything else. So I'm gonna have to make those abilities count and using an E Q on the minions just to push it in a little bit further.
Here we go.
The Nico using Ignite there. Good cooldown yet. Set can just run at her. Gets rid of it. Gets
Oh my gosh, you know
Kill by
it is.
Set. Very well
Oh.
played.
my
Finding an
gosh.
opportunity and just taking it.
wow. What?
The mana
An
versus health
excellent
attrition game. That Set passive just heals back so much health that you're not gonna heal as much mana back, and you have to keep poking him and poking him. That was not able to have
Man.
enough mana
Great
to
game.
stop the.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it looked like it went both ways, and then it looked like Nico had it. I mean, he had the CS lead. The turret was a couple breaths away from crumbling, and it was 1-1, and he just seemed like he had it. But then, yeah, that just final bit, he regened enough health and was able to get the damage. That was crazy.
And I think we're seeing that quite a bit, actually, in this tournament, where it looks like it's going one way, and then just through some type of strategy, the other person pulls it out. And excellent job. I think we're going to pull in here for
Speaking of pulling them out, let's pull them on in to this chat. Dude, that was crazy.
Alright, alright. On a scale of 1 to 1,000, what's your heart rate right now?
1,000. I'm
Great.
literally shaking.
League of Legends induces anxiety in students and alums. Great. Now, that was awesome, man. That was a really well played game by both of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, even going into the matchup, that's such a hard matchup for the set. So, like, what was your thought process when you saw you were going into the Nico? How would you, think that you would play around the easy, can get the poke damage, all that?
So at first, Set has like built-in like health regen, right? So at first I was like, okay, well I brought Hail Blades. I can probably out-trade him in some circumstances with my W and like my E and my Q. So I bought Sheen first. I bought like Sheen first items for that empowered like auto attack to get that burst off. And then towards the end, when the tower was at no health, I was just waiting until he had no mana to all in. And then that last fight was just, I saw the opportunity. His E was on, his W was on cooldown, or whatever the root is. And I tried to go in. And then he hit me with the root.
Very
And
close. Any kind of hesitation, that E would have been back on cooldown. As I used it just as you E'd.
yeah.
So very, very close, but well played.
Thank you.
Finding a win condition and that kind of matchup, very tough.
Yeah.
Finding it
not
under
a-
pressure too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and-
huge. All right, well, we're gonna keep going, guys, because it is midnight. Wow, oh my gosh, I need to go to bed. Oh, it's midnight, but we've still got a couple games to play.
Few
So,
more.
Two,
yeah,
possibly 3 more games. So.
Oh my goodness, Xander, you good to keep casting with us? You're doing a great job, man.
I mean, if you want me here, I'll be here.
Okay, cool. You're okay. You don't have to
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not a full night, so okay.
I'm gonna
Cool.
go get a drink though, so I'll be right back.
All right, yeah. Stay hydrated. Hydration is important. Everyone take a sip of water. Mountain Dew. It's kind of late for Mountain Dew. All right, and our next matchup will be what?
We're gonna have Gorf against Daddy Disney. This will be the
Finals of the Redemption.
no, the semifinals of the
Um,
redemption bracket. Then we'll move into Logical versus the winner of this to determine who goes back up against Caboflu for the grand finals. Man, some really, really exciting games. I think
mean, you know, it's like I'm like, man, this is a lot of league. It's late. It's my nap time, but there's some really good stuff, and it's really fun to see. I'm used to seeing the players play in 5-mans or in, you know, at least like duos or flex, or just hear like one-sided solo stuff. But like seeing them 1v1 consistently and play multiple matches and seeing how they think through that on their own is really
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah, we're seeing that adaptation muscle really being flexed here, right? Because they're not used to playing in these circumstances, so they have to think on the fly with the knowledge they have about what they can do, and some excellent plays from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a shout out to Pocket Dust for being here, and to Susie and Rosalie, Gnome's Lice, for letting us steal him for so long.
I think this is going to be the best match of the tournament.
Oh, really?
Both mid lane mains. They play with each other a lot. They know kind of the play style of each other. Kind of, you know, seeing a lot of respect.
Man, I'm excited.
Seeing a lot of respect bands coming out, like the Akali and the Vlad. I mean, nothing too crazy. Gorf actually banning out the Yasuo. We know that he likes to play it. Could have had the possibility of a mirror matchup, but Yone taken out by Daddy Disney, kind of interesting. He played that earlier this tournament against Gorfort on the Ahri. So really interesting bans. Both kind of have similar champ pools, so it might come down to who's played more champions. Gorf hovering the Ahri. This is kind of a throwback for him. Used to play this champion a lot. Played it a little bit recently, but
and the Ahri actually did, you know, Gorfort did really well on the Ahri against that Yone earlier. So, you know, Gorf can use that, or I don't know if Daddy Disney will be more on alert because of that experience.
and especially with Ahri's rework, it kind of builds in more sustain into her kit, so not that bad into a kind of a 1v1.
We will see if the Senna gets locked in here. That is something that I know.
Both mid lanes.
The Gragas was not banned by Gorf. It would be really interesting to see a Gragas mid. And the Senna locked in and the Ezreal locked in. This is very interesting.
We have the hyped up mid lane matchup between two
Both
ADCs.
like
Let's go.
Well, listen. Daddy Disney, pocket pick, Senna mid. It's a thing. And it works. And I think
if it works now.
I think Gorf's win con is CS. That
I think
Ezreal,
it's a hard win con, honestly. The Senna has built-in sustain, the trades are easier, and Ezreal's main tool is poke, so
Ezreal being able to kind of CS as well as poke, makes it so that he's kind of untouchable if played right. But the Senna having more damage, more self-sustain, easier damage, I should say. Ezreal does do a lot of damage with WQ, but it's harder to hit those kind of skill shots. So, gonna be a very interesting matchup. I think this is pretty even. It'll be interesting to see what Senna's runes are. Senna taking Grasp a couple times, but maybe going for something more aggressive.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one for sure. I'm still